Welcome back to the desk. I'm joined by Wyatt, Dylan, Chris, and Justin to talk William Paterson basketball. The men's basketball team played their final game on Wednesday, and Dylan and Wyatt, who are on the call, had the chance to sit down with senior guard Zack Frick.
Now, Zach, you just played your last basketball game ever. You scored 25 points against Kane. Can you tell us what's going through your head right now?
Yeah, it was definitely an emotional night, being my last night as a senior, and emotional for other guys. But, I came in like any other game. I shot the ball well, and, finished with 25. And most importantly, we got the win. I got to end my career off with a W, so that's all I can ask for.
And as we all know, playoffs weren't in the picture, unfortunately, this season. But how important was it for you and for the team to end off on a high note, especially ending your careers here at William Paterson? Just how important was it to get the final win?
Absolutely, yeah. It was definitely disappointing not making the playoffs, but all we can control is this game and try to get a win. And we got a pretty convincing win, and that's how we're getting sent off. So.
Now, as a guy who's been here for 4 years, you've played with just about every good player that's been here. Can you sum up your career here in a couple words?
Oh man, I had a blast. Not many people get to play college basketball, so I was.
Let's go, Sparta!
I was definitely blessed, but obviously you got to play with a bunch of good players like Gervais, King Gilchrist, Bright Mensa, Tariq Bridgman, Sandy Burgos, Jock. I could go on, man. It's a great program, a lot of great history, and I'm just honored that I was a part of it for 4 years.
Zack Frick's one of the 8 seniors that graduated last Wednesday from the men's basketball team. What's the impact these guys have had so far?
Well, going top to bottom, just to call out the seniors and to give them the credit they deserve. We're looking at Zack Frick, Galen Smith, Terrell McClendon, Frederick Hagbarth, Joseph Taylor, Craig Tompkins, and am I forgetting any off the top of my head, fellas?
Galen?
I said Galen. Pretty sure I got them all, and Richie Espinal as well.
There you go.
All these guys, all 4 years, they've been great. They've given maximum effort each time they've hit the floor. Some of these guys have been Brian Chapman recruits. Some of these guys have been Jose Rabimbas recruits, but they've done a great job of gelling together and putting together some great seasons.
For sure. It's unfortunate this year they dealt with a lot of injuries. That's a big reason why I don't think they're in the NJAC playoffs this weekend. It would have been exciting to have them go out with a bigger impact, maybe getting a deep run to the playoffs, getting to the second round or something like that. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of sports. But all in all, they had a great year. It was a lot of fun watching them and calling their games.
Aside from the numbers, I think what we can take away is the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into this program over the years. A lot of these guys have been here for 4 years, and coaches will tell you, as a former student athlete, coaches will tell you it's an honor to wear the WP across your chest and represent the William Paterson program in a positive light. So the time spent, the hours spent, their hard work, dedication, and loyalty to this program, I feel like goes unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah, I think with this group of guys, this is the 8 seniors, but a lot of them came in as freshmen, coming onto a very good William Paterson team that went to the NJAC championship two times.
Years in a row, yeah,
They've lost to Stockton, but still Zack Frick played in a lot of those games with Gervais, King Gilchrist, with a Tariq Bridgman, with a Bright Mensa. This is a group of seniors that really, like Chris said, poured their blood, heart, onto his team. They really played well.
And then you got a guy like Craig Tompkins who just got the uniform this year, also known as the Hustle Man. In the game against, Kane, came off the bench and had 5 offensive boards in 5 minutes. Not even.
It might be
Most coaches love a player like that who comes to practice and works hard every day and just is there for his teammates. He doesn't get any playing time.
Right.
And for him to get playing time and make the most of it is great to see.
And now we have to flip over to the women's team who are still alive. They have an NJAC playoff game coming up this Saturday. After they won on Wednesday night, they'll be traveling to Rowan. What's going to go on with the women? This is a big game going on in the NJAC tournament.
Well, when you look at this game, the Pioneers, they had a little bit of skid towards the end of that season. But now, coming into this game against Rowan, they split the season series 1-1. They lost in Glassboro, so now they got to go on the road. Last year, they went against Kane in the NJAC playoffs, won on the road, and then ended up losing at Montclair.
That was a ridiculous game.
Ridiculous game.
Mirage Bacon had 37 in the ball game. That was probably one of the most fun games we've had the pleasure of calling.
And if they were to beat Rowan, they'd have to go into Montclair again right now as the 5 seed, and that would pose a lot of problems. But until they get there, they still have to win this ball game.
I'll tell you what. Usually it's the offense for the Pioneers where we like to harp on. It was the defense of the Pioneers this time around against Kane. Maraja Bacon comes into the contest averaging 23 points per game. The Pioneers held her to 2 of 17 shooting. She got 7 of her 11 points from the foul line. They completely shut her down and did a great job on defense. I'm sure Aaron Monahan was thrilled about that.
All right, guys. Now, finally, we got a lot of seniors graduating on the men's team, not so much on the women's team. What's the impact they've had? This could be one of their final games. The NJAC tournament's going to wrap up their careers here at William Paterson.
Well, it's interesting because it's a different story for each player. So you take a look at Ashley Palmieri, who has had an injury-riddled career, tore ACL twice, and she's still come back, and she basically set the tone for that Kane game yesterday. It was a win-or-go-home situation, and she came flying out of the gate. So for Ashley Palmieri, my hat's off to her because of just how resilient she's been in her efforts to get back out on the court.
No doubt. Another senior that's had a crazy impact is Tori Wetzel. She's a senior in the classroom, junior on the court, so it's going to be her last season. You talk about impact. Just on Wednesday night, she had 12 and 13. She pulled down rebounds. A team that struggles at rebounding, if she steps up and pulls down the boards, they have a chance to win the game, and it shows why they beat the number 2 team in the conference.
For Ashley Palmieri, I think her story is her leadership off the court, because with the injured career, she had to find other ways to lead. And for the young girls who come into this program, they have someone to look up to, someone who's been here for 4 years, someone who can show them the ropes, how to police themselves, what's expected of them. And I think that was very important for her.
Yeah, and then the other 2 seniors you look at are Nicole Williams and Janae Clarke. Janae Clarke been playing for 4 years. She's been really the only big girl outside of Alex Milne last year. And this year, it's really been the only one playing the 5 spot. Then you have Nicole Williams as the senior captain, the only captain on this team right now, has really been a defensive-minded girl, has really played well for her 4 years, but has really had to take a step up in her 4th year and become a perennial scorer that she hasn't had to do in the last couple of years.
All right, we wish the best of luck to the women coming up in their game on Saturday. Also, we would like to wish the best of luck to the Pioneers swimming and diving team as they this weekend will play in the Metropolitan Championship. Stick around because coming up next, we have baseball coming around for spring training. Don't go anywhere.